Hello guys, this is your Justice the Analyst Kirill, and I'm back with another video about the rehearsals of the Eurovision 2024. This time we are not talking about the countries taking part in the semifinals and trying to qualify to the grand final, but we will talk about our big 5 countries plus Sweden, so the 6 countries which have automatically ensured a place in the grand final. I will remind you that these countries get the special right as so-called founders of the Eurovision Song Contest. However, we could just say they're the biggest contributors to the fees of the Eurovision Song Contest, so they basically ensure that the contest stays alive, because if these countries withdraw, it would be, let's say, quite a big disaster for the contest. But in general, it wouldn't be fair to say that these countries never send some quality music. Of course, we have Italy, which is constantly having some leading places. In the previous just few years, UK, Spain, France, they all have really proven to us that they can make it to the top 3. Germany, well, not so often, but from time to time accidentally also places in top 5 or even wins, like in 2010 with Lena. But now let's take a look at their second rehearsals, discuss what we have seen, what kind of staging concepts they brought, and where actually these countries might finish in the end. And we will start with the United Kingdom. Olly Alexander is dizzy. So as you can see, in the last 8 years, United Kingdom was only 2 times in top 20, and 1 time it was still not so high. They had only 1 properly very good result. It was with Sam Ryder and Spaceman. So if this year Olly Alexander can achieve similar result, I don't think so. So first of all, talking about his staging, I really love how innovative it is. I really like how they film it with the camera, you know, that it looks like the whole stage is sort of rotating, is getting dizziness. But in reality, it's just cameraman. It looks super cool. I also love the costumes of the dancers, and in general, the dancing routine is definitely very creative. My only concern is that it's a little bit, not really appropriate for a family contest. I still remember a couple of years ago, Ronella Hayati had to kind of slow down a little bit with her staging after the producer said it's not really appropriate for the family show. In this case, I feel it's super, super sexual. I really applaud to how brave they were with this decision, but in general, I don't think that a lot of public will really vote for this, especially taking into account that the public of Eurovision is very diverse and it includes mostly, families, mostly, of course, the straight people. So it's not really a stage in which will appeal to all. I also think the judges will really hate that, because we have already seen in the live performances during pre-parties, but now also in the first and second rehearsal, that Olly Alexander is maybe not the most confident performer when it comes to the vocal stability, so it has a lot of room for improvement. So I really feel like with the judges it's definitely one of the last places, and with the televoters, taking into account that United Kingdom has been drawn first half of the final, I really see it coming very, very low, also with the televote, with just maybe a few points. So it is very unfortunate, but I think even with such a famous singer as Olly Alexander from years and years, I think this year United Kingdom will get one more of these red results outside of top 20. So Germany. As you can see on your screen, in the last 8 years, Germany has managed to be in top 24 only 1 time. Well, it was a huge success for the 4th place, but still all the other results, 25th till 27th place, really, really horrible. And this year, it's not really hard to beat the results from the past. So Isaak, as I have already said in my reaction to the German entry, has won the selection without any actual performance, without any proper clothes to wear. So here the expectations were pretty low. We really didn't know what to expect, and it seems like the German delegation really took it seriously. They really analyzed different concepts, maybe from different national selections, if you know what I'm talking about. And in the end, they just took something what they thought will fit the most. I think it's not necessary in this song. I think his vocals should be really the star of this performance. And at least in those rehearsal snippets which we have seen, it felt like he, was kind of stranded there in the middle of the stage, because he was not probably supposed to move too much because there are these fire towers and he should probably not get too close. And also, you know, the camera cuts are of course all predefined. So he felt a little bit uncomfortable there. So his voice was also not as confident as usually, but I think it will improve. It was, you know, just the rehearsals. Once he will have this live shows, the dress rehearsals and so on, I'm pretty sure his confidence will be back and we will have an amazing performance. Unfortunately, Isaak has been drawn first half of the final, so it means that, let's say with the televoters, it's all kind of done. He will probably be outside top 20 with the televote. But I really have very high hopes for the juries, because the juries generally tend to vote for something radio-friendly, modern, and they like to kind of reward these male singers with quite strong voices. I will remind you about Cesar Sampson with Nobody But You from Austria, who even won the jury vote in the final, very much taking everyone off guard, so no one was really seeing this coming. But so I really see the potential for Isaak to reach very, very high results with the juries. How high he will go will really depend on how the whole staging looks like and if his confident vocal is back and will become a star of this performance. So I'm pretty sure that this year Germany will finally be in top 24, hopefully even in top 20. If they will make it to top 15 or maybe even top 10, I think it really depends on the whole staging, so we just have to wait and see. So the next one is Norway, or I'm sorry, Sweden, of course, with the Norwegian twin brothers. So by the amount of green and gold on the historical record of Sweden in the finals, I definitely can say that this year will not be an exception. At least they will be in this top 10 green area. But I would not be surprised if Sweden finishes in top 5. They kept basically the same staging, which I remember from Melodifestivalen. I think nothing has really changed, even the costume stayed the same. But if you have already such a good product, which was actually now adopted for the Eurovision stage, because there was some speculation that they cannot really bring like these walls which they had on the sides next to them on the performance in Friends Arena. Maybe they now became smaller, I'm not so sure, but I think the TV picture doesn't really change from that. So I'm really glad they were able to just bring the same beautiful performance from Melodifestivalen to the Eurovision stage, which unfortunately was not the case with Loreen. So Sweden, I definitely see finishing top 10 this year. I also think their chance to reach top 5 is very high, and I think juries will love that because it's very modern, very slick. Their vocals are great, dancing is great, everything is just really screaming high quality. But I think the televoters will not be as hyped as the juries, A, because it's a host country and generally, you know, the televoters don't tend to support the host country so much, and B, it's obviously opening the show in the final, which is a huge disadvantage for Sweden, but I'm pretty sure they will get at least some points and will not finish maybe as low as Benjamin Ingrosso.
With 21 points, Sweden.
In 2018. So the French Eurovision record definitely looks much more blue than the ones from Germany and the UK, so generally France finishes much higher. But this year, I'm sure they're targeting at least the green area, so at least top 10. I'm quite confident that Slimane can do that. I'm sure that the juries will vote for this quite heavily. Plus, he was so lucky to be drawn the second half of the final, so now France doesn't really have to bother about any producer's choices or whatsoever. I think this year their entry is of course targeting the juries maybe a little bit more with all these vocals, how he goes a little bit back from the microphone, which is super impressive. It already gave me chills when I was watching his live performance from, I think, London pre-party, where he did the same trick. It was the first time in this Eurovision season when I had the goosebumps, so this was very impressive, and I'm glad that they kept the same concept for Eurovision. When it comes to the televoters, the fact that he's in the second half is definitely helping a lot to get some votes, and I think a lot of the televoters are also such suckers for ballads. I was giving you already Kula by Ott Lepland as an example from 2012, who did actually perfectly well both with the juries and with the televote. Of course, with the juries a little bit better. So I really see a very high result for France this year. If it will be enough for top 5, I really don't know. So far, we don't know which songs will be next to France, how the full performances of the favorites will look like, but I definitely see him finish in top 10. And now our Spanish Zorra. So they still kept, the most impressive parts of their live performance from Benidorm Fest for the Eurovision stage. Of course, this sofa now looks a little bit different, but in general, the color scheme, everything is kind of the same. Why should you change something what became so popular with the fans and also with the public in Spain? I think the second rehearsal clip has really shown us how much energy the song lacks if there is no crowd singing along. Luckily, they will have the lyrics of the song behind the lead singer on the screen, so I really hope that the audience in Malmö will sing along and we will have the same kind of vibe which we had at Benidorm Fest, because this might really help. But at this point of time, I think that the juries will really rank it super, super low, because unfortunately the lead singer of Nebulossa is not such an impressive singer. She's mostly whispering the whole song. Now we also have heard there are some very, very loud backing vocals. This is something what concerns me a bit, because we could hardly hear her, especially in the first rehearsal. But I hope it's just, acoustics from that video. When it comes to the televoters, it will really depend if the whole arena will vibe with them or not. At this point of time, I really see that maybe the joke will not be understood by the whole Europe. So I think even with the televoters, they will be ranked maybe somewhere between place 15 and 20 max and not higher. So I think in total, when you combine the jury results with the televote, I think they will be most probably somewhere on the edge of top 20, if not outside top 20. So I cannot really see Spain finishing higher this year. And Spain got the producer's choice this year, so it means the producers will determine if Spain will be in the first half, in the second half, somewhere really in the beginning of the show or in the end. I think the Spanish entry would be actually a very, very nice song to close the whole show, if especially the whole arena will sing along, this kind of moment of unity in the end of the performances line up. It's something really beautiful and nice. Let's see where they finish in the end. And now our most successful Auto-Finalist country, and it's of course Italy. So this year will definitely be at least the green area for Italy again. I'm not so sure about the win, if Angelina Mango can finish in top 3. She also got the producer's choice, the same like Spain, so they will determine where she will perform in the final lineup. If she will be, among the first 10, I really don't see her coming top 3 in the end, because this entry definitely heavily relies on the televote as well. So only the jury vote will not be enough for them to win or to finish top 3. And the televoters definitely tend to vote for something what comes more towards the end. This song might be also a great closing entry to close the final show. If the producers will go this way or not, I don't know. But at this point of time, if we discuss their performance, I really liked actually the artistic decision behind her dress and the dancers' dresses and the prompt on stage in the first rehearsal. So here you can see some photos from that one. But I think they got some sort of feedback that it's a little bit too bright, and also maybe this dress doesn't really show Angelina's shape so well. And in the end, they decided to go for this black one, which we now saw in the second rehearsal video clip. I think it's a little bit more generic, but maybe after all, it's the right decision, because I think after the first dress, the feedbacks in the community were also a bit mixed. Some loved that, some really hated that. So I think maybe it's better for them to go for the safer option, because this is the song which should reach a very broad appeal, because they're targeting to win the televote or to be in top 3 at least. So I think they need something what, everyone would say is at least okay, or at least good, if not perfect. So I think maybe it was the right decision. In the second rehearsal video clip, Angelina was really fighting for some air. It was really feeling like she's having not enough of that. But of course, this part comes towards the end of the song. Yeah, so we haven't seen all the choreography which she was doing before that, all the high notes and so on. So here she already comes a little bit tired. But I just hope that it's not like that throughout the whole performance. I think they should also maybe adjust a little bit the mixing of her vocals and the backing track. But in general, she's amazing. It looks amazing, sounds amazing, and it's a definite, let's say, top 5 finish for Italy this year. So what a great final lineup we already have. If you ask me, all the 6 entries definitely deserve a place in the final. I really appreciate that our big 5 countries started to send something a little bit more high quality, that they are now organizing some selections like, Spain or Germany. So you really feel like they're trying to do their best. Sometimes it works, like in the case of Italy or France this year. Sometimes it doesn't, like in the case, let's say, of Spain and maybe UK okay this year, but I really hope that they will all do well, that they will not feel not motivated for next year to do as good job as this year. But who was your favorite? Who disappointed you with their rehearsal, and who has really impressed you? Maybe you thought that the staging of Olly Alexander is definitely family appropriate and just super hot and super nice. Please let me know down below in the comments. I'm looking forward to hear back from you. Subscribe to my channel if you still haven't, and we will see each other next time after the first semi-final show. Bye bye.